Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. Before we jump into the price action, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Okay, so let's get into it. So primarily what we're still looking for is further evidence that we are looking for this potential C wave to the upside. So this does have the potential to become a bigger 5-wave structure, but it would have to move above this point here of this 2971 for more confidence within that structure. So there's a few ways that we can still look at this move. It is still sort of just in this zone where it can still be quite a few possibilities, but primarily what I'm tracking is to see whether we get this C wave to the upside here starting to play out. And what we're looking for within that is, like I said, there are multiple ways of looking at this, but primarily this is what I'm looking for. Let me come into the 1 hour here. So within this structure, there's two things I want to discuss. So within this, we're looking for a bigger 5-wave move, potentially looking to actually target up towards that 2354 yeah, 2,354 off of this 50% line. So what I'm looking for here is that potential that we're actually forming a 3-wave move to the downside. So depending on where this actually lands, we need to be a little bit cautious because there is potential that within this subwave structure here, we can count this slightly different, and potentially we still have a fourth wave here and potentially looking for a fifth wave to the upside. So I am still keeping an eye on for if we do manage to hold this 1583, we could still see one more smaller 5-wave move to the upside, and then this would become a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then basically looking for this fifth to the upside. That's so if this 1583 area holds, potentially we could look for that move to play out. We'd also have to be careful because potentially this could just be a shallow B wave or wave two here, and then we could look to progress to the upside from there. So we'll have to keep an eye on this zone. Ideally, I would like it to come down to this orange support area. Sometimes these things don't happen. Potentially look to actually retest this channel again that we seem to interact with almost constantly now. Potentially we could see another move down here as a 3-wave structure down into this zone of this 1560 to this 1447 region, and then potentially looking for this continuation. If we do, however, start to lose this 1447 area, we need to be a little bit cautious. This move to the upside, there is a few interpretations of this, so we need to just be cautious that this whole move here hasn't just been a B wave, or at least the A wave of a B wave. We come back down first, and then we get a C wave up, and then we look to reject. We're going to talk about that in a second, but there are a couple of options available here. So primarily, this is what I'm looking for. I want to see if we manage to hold the support zone, and then whether we actually look to push to the upside here, and then manage to get up above these zones. At the moment, we've just got a single structure here. I don't think this is completed. Potentially we could look to actually move down to the zone here of this 1 to 1, which would be the 0.382, depending on how high we come here. Off this current location where we've come, that would be 1607. So yeah, somewhere around this 1627 to this 1583 zone would be a potential zone we could actually look to push down to if we do look to come down one more time here. And then what I would be looking for would be to see whether we manage to get back above this high point, and whether we just form a smaller 5-wave move that stops here, and then we actually lose that key support zone again. So that's going to be the telling point here, is basically if we get a 3-wave move down here, we get a 5-wave move to the upside, and then we break down and we take this low, then I would be looking at this potentially, like I said, as rather having this third wave up in this zone, and then effectively this whole move here would be a fourth and a fifth, and then we'd be looking for that support lower down here after that point. So that's what I'm looking for in the immediate term. If we do manage to hold this, I want to see if we do push up here. There is always that potential that there is extension within the waves, which isn't sort of showing itself yet. We could have a 1-2, a 1-2, and then potentially, this was all the third of this wave. we'll have to see. But basically, if we do hold this 1583, like I said, I'm looking for that five-wave move potentially up into this 1916. We'll have to check it for extensions, obviously. But if we do just move up here in a five-wave move, I'll then be looking to see whether we come back down and hold the support zone, because this is going to be key. In order for us to continue looking for this bullish potential here, we need to hold this 1368. If we lose that, it will invalidate this whole potential move to the upside here. And basically, then if we do lose that low, what I would be looking for is a couple of things. So um, this is okay. So let me just throw this next one. So we're talking about this previously, where we could be looking for a B wave up into this area here of the 1742 to this 1911. So this is still possible. If this does break down and take the low, this is what I would think would be going on, is potentially we have a flat correction here. This whole move here could just be an A, a B, and then we get the C wave down into this lower range here, and then that could look to actually potentially complete lower down again towards this 1368, or potentially back towards this 618 area of this 1292. If we start to lose this 1192 zone, then basically the bullish potential of continuation starts to diminish, and we'd have to be cautious of that fact. So the one-to-one is not there anymore. Actually, it is higher up because we've taken this high point. But basically, within this, I'm looking for that possibility that this could become an expanding flat and look to actually move down into this zone. If it was to be a contracting one, potentially we could rather look to find. So potentially then, we could look to target out this one-to-one at this 1394, or alternatively, if it's going to be a running flat, the 618 at this 1531 would be an interesting zone. So potentially, there is that possibility of having a running flat in here. Um, we'll have to see how it plays out. If it is, it would have to have good five-wave structure. We'd have to see one, two, three, four, five into this, and then look for that move away if it is going to be a running flat. But yeah, we'll have to see. They're a bit tricky to sort of navigate running flats. If we do, however, find support within this zone, potentially we can look for this C wave up. So, there's a couple of possibilities for, as long as we hold these support zones above this 1368, we can still look for continuation. So this is looking for the possibility that even still, if we get another move up here, it could still be an A, a B, and a C. So it doesn't really invalidate this move. I would start to sort of trust it less once we start to break through this 1911 zone, and if we start moving up higher here, potentially then this falls apart. But if we just move up towards this 1.382 of this A wave, potentially we could then look for that continuation to the downside. Actually, I just need to see something. Just need to make sure this is off the high. It isn't anymore. So that changed. No, sorry, that is correct. That zone is correct. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So basically, that is looking for this as potentially a flat correction. If we do move up into this area, potentially we could look for that C wave down. So that is the primary way that I'm looking at this move. We did, however, touch on a possible alternate count for this structure, in yesterday's video, where we could actually still be within the fifth wave here, where we'd look at this move slightly different to one, two, three, four, five, then an additional fourth here, and actually still looking for that fifth wave. So if this is the case, potentially we've come up to that 0.382 already. The next target I'd be looking for if we do look to continue up here. So this is where, potentially if we get this additional fourth wave within here, possibly we could actually look to come back up and retest this channel, which would be at this 1897. However, we've got a couple of fib zones up here which are interesting. So the 0.618 ties in with the 1.236, which would be around this 1845 area. Also, the internal subwave off of this 50% down here would potentially take us between this 1829 to this 1912. So this could be quite an interesting little cluster going on here. If we do push up one more time into this channel line here, could be an interesting zone where we could get a reaction. Obviously, we need to be aware that this can break and this channel can break. This is the alternative count that I'm following. If we I'm primarily looking for that possibility of that extension up, but this is something that is still possible. So for as long as we continue to follow this, we need to just be cautious. What the difference is here is basically within this structure, what it would mean is we haven't completed that B wave. And then basically from completion on here, we'd be looking for a bigger move back down, potentially back into that support area that we were talking about on the other count, which would be potentially somewhere in this range here of this 1435 to this 1218 range. So it's key for us to look for that continuation to maintain this low, this 14 where are we? This 1368. If we start to lose that, then potentially we could see something like this play out, where either we complete this fifth wave up here, we find a retracement, and then we look for that possibility of this being an A, a B, and a C to the upside, or alternatively, we could this move could just fall apart here. And we'd have to look at something else where this potential B wave could actually be completed, and we could be looking for a C wave down. We were also talking about previously that possibility of having a triangle in here. I still haven't given up on that potential either. This whole move here could technically be a triangle where we could form something like this. And this whole move here, we could potentially break it down slightly different, where we could look at this as something like this, as a more complex C wave, where this is a A, this is a B, then we get another zigzag here, and that completes our C wave. Invalidation would only come by breaking back above this high point of this fourth wave, which is sitting here at this 20,030. Until we do, these things can happen, and we could get a bigger sideways triangle playing out here. So this is just something to keep an eye on. If we do actually look to form a bigger triangle in this, it would still indicate an additional leg down, potentially down to this 723 to this 523 zone. So really until we actually break above these fourth wave highs, which is sitting at this 2030 region, basically we need to be cautious still, that we could see that continuation down. Yeah, we need to hold these key areas. Um, it is a little bit suspicious on how short this wave two was, so I'm not really trusting it that much at the moment. I need to see it prove itself. And basically, what we want to see this B wave hold, and we want to see this support come in for this next phase here. If we are looking for this to continue, we need to hold this 1447. If we start to lose that, then then basically the wheels start to fall off, and then once we cross 1368, then basically we would have to look at this as a whole corrective move, potentially still being within this B wave to the downside. In which case, we could still find that support come in, but I just need to get rid of whichever one is not right. This one, we could still find that support come back in here towards, like I said, this zone lower down of this 1292 to this 1273, but we'd still need to be cautious that this could still look to break it down, unless it actually confirms this trend to the upside here. And technically speaking, even if we do move up in a five-wave move here, like this, A, B, and C, it still wouldn't invalidate that possibility of setting another low yet. It would have to move up much higher here, potentially past this 2,971. Okay, So I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, you will find affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT down there. Check those out. Great exchanges. We use them on a regular basis when we do our trading. If you don't have an affiliate link, if you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.